Good evening. I keep answering this question a lot on a personal basis on Facebook and whatnot. So I thought I'd go ahead and make it into a video. Because everything's kind of starting to worry me the way it's all fitting together. So here's the deal with Flat Earth and with everything that's going on right now. Everything. Okay? The reason why the government doesn't seem capable of protecting you right now. This is kind of a long story, and I've been telling it for some time, but I want to be very brief and recent as far as just how messed up the situation is and how uphill this struggle is. Because it's come to my attention that as a pro government activist, I am not getting a whole lot of help. I can't even ask and get help. I can't be look. I You can't even find the right people to report things to if you're within the military right now. Okay, and the big question is why? Well, at the risk of sounding like a typical conspiracy nut, two words: chemtrails. Or is that a hyphenated word? Is that a combined word? You know what the fuck I meant. Chemtrails. So what's up with chemtrails? Well, turns out that most of the jet fuel we bought from the 90s through the 2000s might have secretly been the reason why we all got switched to bottled water from fluoridated tap water. Because there was a hydrofluorocarbon of some sort that many have alleged to be a brainwashing chemical that was being dispersed by jet fuel. Turns out most of the crude oil used to make jet fuel worldwide comes from the former Soviet states. Well, this is interesting because, as most flat earthers are aware, there's not a whole lot of airplanes that fly over a certain northern region. So this might bring to light a big problem. You see, what conspiracy theorists assume is that our government has people that are capable of defending us and just choose not to. What if our government was victims of chemtrails too? And what if another government wasn't? What if their programmers could literally just run circles around our programmers because we, as a nation, have been poisoned? It's a scary thought, isn't it? The scariest part is it's probably fucking true. Because when you look at, okay, you can literally search for help on how to subvert the government and find a lot more help than you can on how to help protect the government, how to help protect this country. You can find a whole bunch of people complaining about it, but you can't find, here's how to help. Here's where you can chip in. Here's where your advice matters. Here are the people that are trying to solve this problem that you're having. Search for Russian trolls. Just search and see if you can find anybody actually doing anything about them. Can we do anything about them? Could we if we tried? See, the whole flat earth thing is a result of me taking a step back and saying, your move. And I expected something pretty spectacular. But preemption, pretty powerful strategy. And admittedly, I probably could have done better to have created my channel a bit sooner. But I had a family to support. Couldn't really do this until I was ready. And I was trusting God the Father that this would happen in its time. So, the whole flat earth thing. Well, if I'm here and I realize that it's true, the man of sin is there. And he'd probably realize it was true too. Because what happened when I made the changes that I made was noticeable. Data from everything outside of the lunosphere was off compared to memory. Okay, even Halley's Comet. If you look up Halley's Comet does not happen when you remembered it happening. Go look it up. Have fun. Well, the whole flat earth thing is a preemptive strike on the truth. It's what happens when a liar gets caught. See, according to this timeline, oh yeah, they're lying. That's the reality that you're in. They're lying. But when an older brother tells a younger brother a lie, is that younger brother to blame for teaching the littlest brothers? Is that younger brother to blame for teaching their children? Their older brother, even their father, told them that lie. Well, the same is true with America. We've been told lies since, as long as we've been a country. We've been sitting here, a group of refugees, trying to band together to defend ourselves for almost, 200 years. Maybe. I mean, the country, in a little sliver, goes back further than that. I'm talking about all of us, America, as it is today. The whole idea behind flat Earth is to poison your mind, the way they've poisoned all of our minds with the chemtrails. It's to make you think that these people who are confused just like you are the ones to blame. and to distract you from identifying the confusers, the ones who are twisting the truth, the ones who are to blame for everything. But what you got to realize is that people in power aren't single-minded because they're bullshitting you. They're single-minded because that's what they do. That's who they are. That's what they've been taught. That's all they know. And as long as flat earthers can't see through this trap that's been set for the few left remaining who can question things, as long as they kept on, as long as you keep getting herded into rebelling against the by the people, for the people government that helps only by the people, for the people governments around the world. Yeah, it's been a while since we helped a dictator in anything but a really shitty situation. What we usually do is help promote democracy. It's pretty much why we always wind up getting our asses kicked, because usually the imperial strategic ruthless power is more powerful, and the people who just want to be free are the weaker party. But as a result of this, that ruthless power has gained a propaganda advantage over time. And it has cumulatively affected your consciousness, everybody's consciousness, even the people in the government's consciousness. Now, I'm reaching out to people that I know in the Pentagon, but a lot of even what people up there are saying is falling on deaf ears. It's really starting to worry me. And that's just the truth of it. Anybody can call me a shiller or whatever you want to call me, okay? I'm just a concerned parent. That's it. I see a bunch of children messing up the house while daddy went away on vacation, okay? Forced vacation, but that's a different story. And yeah, that takes a little bit of wisdom to understand how that's even possible, doesn't it? So anyways, that's it. That's the hidden secret behind the whole flat earth mystery. Russian petroleum products, or former Soviet states. You gotta look at all the different ones, okay? They're the ones who supplied the fuel that made the chemtrails, okay? And Barack Obama and John McCain and Lindsey Graham and all those guys breathe the same air you do. But guess who doesn't? The armies of the nations of the king of the north. And he's the one who's behind this whole idea that flat earth is NASA's fault. They've been sending people here for literally centuries to try to keep us weak. If you have a problem with what NASA's doing, I suggest you write congresspeople, senators, write the General Accounting Office, write the Department of Justice, okay? But what you got to realize is that it's possible that they're just backed into a corner. It's possible that they need this just to keep you surviving. Okay, we used to have these things called $400 hammers and $1,500 toilet seats, and they funded secret operations, and that became a bad idea. Okay, which I tend to agree with. But the fact of the matter is, if we're going to survive against this overwhelming, ruthless, tactical, and very knowledgeable enemy who has already completely infiltrated our society, we need some secret budgeting going on, okay? I don't know whether that's the case, but it's kind of the least of our concerns. Oh no, NASA's making movies and it's costing us money. Okay, so what? It's keeping most people happy to be Americans, I suppose, right? And that's a good thing, right? What's important here is that we have an enemy who is so damn good at what they do that for 20 years at least, we haven't even conceived of them as being an enemy. It's not because they just weren't an enemy. It's because they're winning. They've won the hearts and minds of the American people they wish to conquer. You understand? This is a very, very long-term strategy game. And people in the East mock us Westerners for thinking that wars are over in a matter of a couple of years or even decades. Wars are fought over generations. And we need to wake up and realize that we have been at a disadvantage for some time as a nation, as a people. We've been at a technological, informational, and just generally analytical disadvantage. Republicans like to say Obama has no strategy. Guess what? What's your strategy? You got a better one than trying to avoid this war that Putin seems to want? You got a better strategy than to avoid and try to prepare for as long as possible this overwhelming media superiority, this overwhelming counterintelligence and propaganda superiority. This end of the world that Russian channels are promoting. Okay? They're trying to bring it about. They have their own Jesus. They they're ready to just everybody else gone. I'm not making that up. I'm not guessing. That's what they say. Watch the Vissarion documentary. They have their very own little Antichrist. And my videos aren't allowed to get monetized if I talk about what? America being in danger? That's a controversial subject. You got people talking about the CIA funding ISIS. I just want to say no, the CIA, our government does not support terrorism. And I'm doing something bad. We are at a disadvantage, people. We're And you need to talk to everyone you know and tell them that the Cold War never ended. We lost. And tell them that this political system posing as a religion has been doing so to advance the cause of communism. And it was, I made a mistake in a previous video, it was Brezhnev himself who wrote the book that said as much. Boom. Yeah, Brezhnev. The guy before Gorbachev? Him. So, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you go and watch my last several posts, okay? Because there's information in there that you have not seen yet. And there's literally not a single other person providing this information. And while it could be passed off as a unique theory, it's shared by many people who've been tracking the Ukraine conflict for quite some time, namely Ukrainians that I talk to, or who follow me. We have a group called Support Ukraine, USA, UK, and us. And we've been discussing this whole thing for quite some time. See, what Kremlin troops do is pretend not to be working for the Kremlin. You know, it's just that simple. That's what they did in Crimea. That's what they did in Donbass. That's what they're doing in Syria. And, you know, it's funny. Kadyrov kind of meant what he said when he said there's nothing Islamic about Islamic State. And then when he said he was going to kill a bunch of people, he kind of used nicknames, general phrases. Didn't actually said he was going to kill them. Kind of used different words for them when he said the threats. Not that I really think he cares enough to be careful with his wording, other than a personal need to take joy in his ability to bullshit people. Oh, yeah. Watch some video of that guy. If you've ever known a guy like that, he looks like one of them guys. Okay. I guess that's all I got for tonight. Just the epiphany, the epiphany of how much danger we're in as a nation if this jet fuel chemtrail thing is true. Okay. The only thing I'm really adding to that, I mean, it's a well documented conspiracy, right? And it seems to have at least reduced itself as Obama's energy plan has taken effect. Nice coincidence. Okay. But there's one thing I'm adding to it is something you can look up, because I just had to look it up when I first realized, you know, who was behind all this shit. I just looked it up, found out where we get most of our, it's a specific type of crude oil that makes jet fuel. I think I was watching was actually watching a financial show at the time that mentioned it. And I pulled up a list of the different percentages of where we get that type of oil from. I can't remember. I want to say it was the Sweet Light Crude. Yeah, but I just watched a TV show at the time, and I looked up the stuff, and I'm remembering this now 2 years later. Oh, how about that? But that's what's up. Chemtrails didn't need to be some kind of government pods attached to planes. It was in the fucking fuel. And if it was in the fuel, then our government's just as stupid as we are. And how stupid were you until you started watching Flat Earth videos? Or at least the moon landing being fake. Do you think people get elected, just get automatically briefed? Oh yeah, by the way, welcome to the presidency. This is your nice Oval Office here. And by the way, the moon landing was fake. No. That's not how it happens, folks. COYA. People been doing it for years. And frankly, the president has bigger shit to worry about than Flat Earth. Even if he got clued into it, it's just a battle that he wouldn't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different battles he's got to fight. Why would you go and possibly piss off people who are obviously well infiltrated? And then there is also the possibility, like I said, that is a secret funding project. Make movies instead of missions. They cost less. Take the money and you try to fight all these Russian fucking trolls off with. But, you know, we got bigger problems than trolls too. Our biggest problem is that nobody seems to know we got a problem. And the people who know we got a problem, Benghazi! Yeah, my wife just said, water on Mars. Oh yeah, one thing I noticed in the city of Astana thing, where the little red and blue thing looks kind of like Gabriel's UFO thing, right? In the middle of the amber circle, in the middle, kind of looks like an old, I don't want to say the I word. I'm trying to not get this video demonetized. The old anti-crusader shield with the round big 6 thing on it. Yeah. I don't know, I might have already said the freaking. I don't know. I keep seeing my videos getting demonetized, and I'm like wanting to start asking for people to actually hit the contribute button, because I'm not allowed to talk about what needs to be talked about without my video going, oh, you can't monetize that. Don't give me a flag or nothing. It just disappears. Customer service says they can't talk to me about it. Oh well, what can you do? Try to make my videos more appealing. Sorry. The world is at stake here, people. What is wrong with you? You got people talking about Obama is the Antichrist. Okay? Our president wants to kill us all. That's what these people say. They're fine. But me, I get singled out. I get trolls upon trolls until they win. guess what? In the end, I'll win. There's no possibility that I won't. Because, well, I'm the one who defines the rules of the game. The fact that I even let them play it is only an avenue of mercy. And yeah, sorry. That's me just talking like me again. Don't you hate it when I do that? I'm done. Have a good night, everybody. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. If tomorrow ever comes.